Hello, welcome to another edition of the Front Row Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's. Glad to have you along with us. Today it is Tim Edmond, Rossford Athletics, Mortgage Marty Bin, this week of Fairway Mortgage.
Knock it off. Just court jester. I like court jester.
Not going to put that on the screen.
Not court jester?
Not going to put that on the screen.
I like court jester. All right, fine.
No, we don't like to tell anybody that off the top. They just can watch the show and decide
Look,
for
let's get to our first topic because it cost me a loss on a wager that we would ever talk golf on this show, and now we're going to talk golf on the show.
Why would you wager that?
Because I said Norm doesn't like to talk golf on the show.
I remember that. You did say that.
And we're about to talk 69% increase in ratings on the show. Were you cheering for Tiger to win it?
I wasn't cheering against him. I thought it was great golf. I thought all of them were playing great. And with him pushing, I think it elevated everybody.
If he would have hit a couple of fairways, he probably would have won.
There was a point at which I thought get out to 3 would knock it off because you're hitting even the longer irons better than guys are hitting short irons, but never mind.
I wasn't rooting for or against him. I was just watching.
I thought it was great. It was great golf television, which a lot of people have problems saying, but that was fantastic. 4 or 5 hours watching them.
Well, 2 majors in a row. When you woke up, if you weren't paying attention, like the British, when you woke up and your Twitter feed or your phone's blowing up with, oh my gosh, are you watching this? 2 majors in a row, the TV ratings gods had to be crossing themselves, thanking themselves that this happened because
he was right there and could have won both of them and made some major mistakes major mistakes for him. Like I said, if he'd hit a few fairways, he'd have been all right. He did the same thing in the British Open.
I don't think
in the back 9 have been
I was going to hit a fairway?
Yeah.
Well, the one putt that sat on the lip.
Correct.
I kept waiting for the caddy shack something to explode.
Well, so as that's happening, I get the following group of texts. One is the old Tiger never left anything short. That was one group of texts. And he would dent the back of the cup banging it in. And the second one was an old Jack Nicklaus quote, I believe, that said 100% of the ones you leave short don't go in. I got those within seconds of that dimpled Chad hanging there above the cup.
Dimpled Chad.
Yeah, since you say we're not allowed to talk politics here, I like to cross-reference.
I just like how they're talking now. They can't wait for the Masters. That's 8 months away.
No, I just think the viewers probably don't want us to talk politics. So.
Oh, they laugh.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I don't think this is the place they're tuning in for it.
No. But when you can twist it into
they
that.
tune in for golf.
Apparently, 69% increase. So there you go. That's why we're. So you have become a ratings guy. Is that
what's that tell you about when he's not in contention? The numbers aren't very good.
There isn't the draw right now. The one person to chase like it has been with him. A lot have stepped in. Spieth has stepped in. He hasn't done it for a little bit. Koepka is there now. You've had a lot of different ones. There's not that one. It's almost like watching the Yankees be good again, watching the Cowboys be good. You have to have somebody that people love and hate at the same time, and the PGA hasn't had that, really, except for when he's back. When he's in contention, people are going to watch because they want to see him blow up, and some of them want to see him win it.
We actually talked about Phil Mickelson on this show.
We did.
When he had his little moving putt.
Yeah.
So it's not the first time we've talked golf on this show. But as you know, it's a topic-driven show. It's not a results-driven show. Since we're not on live, okay, we taped this earlier in the week.
I agree. So my thing with the whole thing is it's a little nostalgia and that's what a lot of the TV generation, that was their original exposure to golf.
Right.
Because I hate to say it, but growing up, to me, golf was unwatchable. It was, Palmer's lining up his 3-footer here. And even the commentators whispered, and it was like.
Right. But it is. It's
different now.
He is the one star that they still can lay a hat on and want to be playing on Sunday and playing well because people are going to watch.
I felt bad, at least from my ears, that his last couple shots coming into 18, putting on 18, and walking off 18 were 8 to 10 times louder than Koepka's winning putt on 18. I felt bad for Brooks Koepka. I thought, You just won a major, and
I wouldn't feel sorry for him.
you got right because he won a
He
little
won
bit
2 majors this year.
and a little bit of coin along the way, and probably some sponsors. But yeah,
But I thought what was interesting is on 18 is when Tiger makes his putt, he was excited, and he knows he didn't win it.
yeah.
And so I think for him, he knew he played well, and maybe in his mind, this is back to where I wanted to be.
Final round in a major in his entire career, let
Right.
alone when he was at the apex of his game. So
Right.
I mean,
He played well.
right.
And to say, if he hits a couple other fairways, he shoots a 64 in a major on Sunday.
If he doesn't blow up on the front nine on Thursday,
That's bigger than not hitting the fairways.
I mean, don't go out
Coming in.
what bogey double or double.
He was 3 over after 3.
Okay.
Well, how long's it been now? 9 years
2009, yeah.
since he's won?
It's been a long.
He is not going to reach the record, but I think he still could get another one.
Well, I think he
somewhere.
could get 2 or 3.
But I mean, he's not going to set the
Easy
record.
now. Let's get one first.
Yeah, I think he could get one.
Look, he just went runner-up, or top 5 runner-up, and all of a sudden they're talking about him being on the Ryder Cup team.
But a lot of people do that. Let's see if
but
he
I don't
can
know
win.
that a lot of people have the back pedigree that he. I mean,
Let's see if he can win.
This isn't
one
David
first.
Duval
Yeah.
for a few months or a year and a half.
Well, this
in the
isn't a
middle.
25-year-old Tiger Woods anymore either.
He's going to be 43 at the time of next time he tees up in a major.
No, but like a lot of professional athletes, there's lots of things that we don't detect that might help him get all the way back.
Such as?
I'm not saying another word because you always say don't make unfounded allegations. I'm just saying.
Well, I'll go this way with it though.
I did not.
Look at this. Tom Watson has played the Masters phenomenally the last 10 years. He's been in contention. He ain't going to win 3 or 4 majors. He is still good enough to play at times with the best, but he can't do it day in, day out.
He's still not Jack.
I would agree. He's not.
Wait, he's never going to be.
No,
to
not
your
now.
point, he's never going to be.
But he's still considered one of the greatest ever, which Jack is. He's going to be there. He had a.
So to me, this is the
whatever-
Terrell Davis Hall of Fame conversation. He was more dominant during his heyday than Jack was during.
Terrell Davis.
Well, is it not? I mean, it's saying, were you great forever, or were you the very, very? Because his dominance during the time he was dominant exceeds anything Jack did.
I would agree with that. I would agree with
understand
that.
Jack had a longer, more celebrated entire body of work, and I know the last 9 or 10 years, or we have to throw him out and hold him accountable for it. But at the end of the day, he was more dominant than anybody I've ever
But
seen.
coming back to win the Masters at age 46 still is one of the great achievements of all time. We got to take a time out. We'll come back. We'll talk some NFL on the other side. It's the Front Row Roundtable Show presented by Ralphie's.
Matthews Ford Oregon is the dealership that makes a difference because we now offer guaranteed credit approval. We know what's on paper doesn't always reflect the person in front of us. That's why we work with over 40 lending institutions every day to help find solutions, and in some cases, we've been able to help folks looking at pre-owned vehicles drive away in a brand new one. Remember, we're here to help, not to judge. Ride on our reputation as the name that's been trusted since 1952.
That's the Matthews way.
Hey, Mortgage Marty here from Fairway Mortgage. New office is open at 5577 Monroe Street in the Promenade Shops. And those of you that watch know how competitive I am, so here's my challenge. The large national company you always see at every sporting event from up north who has that Rocket app that I hate, we have a competing app called the Fairway Now app. And the best part of the Fairway Now app is you get actually somebody local to help you after you use it. So log in, try it. It's on Facebook, on Twitter. You can find us, the Fairway Now app. Have a great night.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good. It's that good no matter what your taste. It's that good. Come early, stay late. Burgers and beer. A shot of cheer. Great food and fun. It's that good here. Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
Red Wing Shoes, a quality built to last, just like the legacy of service at your Red Wing Shoes dealer, North Reynolds at Bancroft in Toledo. Family owned and operated since 1982. 4 generations building a legacy of quality and service for years to come. Our sales staff has over 95 years selling and servicing Red Wing shoe products, and we have the largest selection of Red Wing shoes in Northwest Ohio. Irish Setter, Works, and our USA-made heritage shoes. In stock, no waiting. Red Wing Shoes, North Reynolds at Bancroft, where service, quality, and fit come first.
All right, back we are on the Firmer Roundtable Show presented by Ralphie's. You okay?
I'll be okay.
All right. Okay. We should tape the in between.
I don't know. I don't know that I ever knew.
Pay-per-view.
I'd be canning at the exchange or at the off ramp because I wouldn't be employable.
All right, we'll stop being guys here. All right. Cleveland Browns. Over and under is 5.5 wins.
Under. Not even close. What, they put coolers out for their first regular season win? You get free beers? I mean,
the numbers I saw today, it was them and the Cardinals that were at 5.5 wins. Nobody else was lower.
Oh, Jets and Arizona not down there with them?
They're down there, but not that
nobody
lower.
was lower. I said the Cardinals.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
Cardinals are in Arizona now. They're not in St. Louis or Chicago, as a matter of fact.
Yes,
They can't keep this up forever.
So that's your optimism?
Can they?
I want to
Your
talk about,
optimism is they can't keep this up forever. Who's going to catch the ball?
who's going to throw the ball?
I think who's going to throw the ball is more optimistic than who's going to catch the ball, because who's going to catch the ball week to week is going to change depending on who can pass a P-test.
What, Tyrod Taylor? Seriously?
Well, he's not going to throw the ball. He's going to fake like he throws the ball and then run for 4 yards and then run for 4 yards and then punt and then hope the Browns defense can. I'm sorry.
Wow.
And by the way,
Wow.
By the way, Browns fans, I'm not a hater. I'm a realist. I understand it looked good for moments, but 3 or 4 of the balls that Mayfield got away with in the first preseason game get picked off if the A team's in there and we're running real defenses instead of baloney defenses. Because those little flutter things that you throw into dead space in the hopes that your guy will make a play, those don't end up on the ground very often in the middle of the field in the NFL.
You know what my favorite part of the first game was? That the first quarter was sponsored by wine in a can.
Yeah.
You got some 6-packs of that around the Bit Estate?
I was going to say it's better than like being sponsored by a medical marijuana company. Why are you
why would you bring that up?
Because as I said at the break, I can't figure out how the wide receiving corps can watch film because there's too much smoke in the room. And that's not me. That's just the reality. I mean, so they draft a guy, he gets busted with something he got tested for. So he got busted for a little chronic under the seat and a gun. But what is Gordon doing right now? He's getting help?
He's in rehab, I assume. That they're not saying. They know where he is. But the NFL hasn't come out and said anything, so there isn't anything new.
And I hope he's getting help, and I mean that genuinely.
If he's having an issue and he's taking care of it, then he's actually doing the appropriate thing.
I agree with that. But at the end of the day,
I'm actually impressed that he's doing that.
I think it's fantastic. But at the end of the day, you still have to get those guys in the field, and they still have to stay clean.
How much do they have to be on the field? This preseason, they're already talking about this week preseason in general.
I'm not talking about
they're not going to play.
I'm talking about the regular season.
Okay, because I was saying the preseason,
and by the
it doesn't
way,
matter
how many
right
regular
now.
season games has he played?
What did he get?
Not many.
5 or 6 last year?
Okay, and you take away the outside weapons, and all of a sudden the Jarvis Landry signing looks. And again, I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not. But signing Jarvis Landry when there's nobody to stretch the defense down the field doesn't look the same.
You don't have to worry about being called a hater. They're 1-31 over the last 2 years.
Look, I work with people who are telling me that they're a potential playoff team, and I feel like the evilest guy in the world by saying if you win 6, you should celebrate. Can
I have a little action on that wager?
I told you,
They're not a
mom's
playoff
gonna get
team.
mowed for free if they win 5, and if they win 6, I got to pay out. The playoff. I mean, come on, seriously?
You could find 5 wins in the NFL.
Well, apparently not in the last couple years.
I said
you can find.
What they've done in the offseason is the best offseason they've had in a while. I think their draft, although I disagree with Baker Mayfield as a first pick, I think they could have done that a different way and gotten even better, but he's not terrible. I think their team on paper
I thought it was
is
funny
good.
that Barkley ripped off a long run on the first play from scrimmage in the preseason game.
I personally think you can
I think he
take
had more
Barkley.
yards on that carry than the Browns had on all the rest of their carries.
He's a special player.
Yeah. I think they could have taken Barkley with 1, and I think Mayfield would still been there at 4 or 5, whichever one they had. I think he'd have still
Yeah, but
been
see,
there.
I like the guy that the Steelers took, the quarterback from Oklahoma State.
Right.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph would have been there.
You would have
Why he dropped in the 3rd round is just total
I would agree with
befuddlement on my part.
I just look at, you had quarterbacks to take that was hard to distinguish between them, where you have a running back that was not hard
Well,
to
so I
distinguish.
said this on Twitter at the time. I said I would take a Barkley number 1, and then you would have had the best defensive player in the draft sitting for him at number 4.
Yeah.
So they could have gotten Barkley, the best defensive player in the draft, and they could have gotten Rudolph later.
Yeah.
Who I think might be better than all the guys that got drafted in the 1st round.
But the rest of their draft, the way they've worked, I thought the Nick Chubb pick was fantastic, because I'm not sold on Carlos Hyde whatsoever.
Well, of course not.
I think he will step in by week 4. I think they did some of the right things. 6 wins would be a fantastic season.
Since we're talking football, can we be done talking about the Browns now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I almost feel like everyone feels so bad for him. Like, no one talks about the Lions, nobody talks about anybody else, because it's like the Browns hopeful finally. It's almost, it bothers me, because I have a lot of friends who are Browns fans. I worry about them, because in past years they haven't had any hope.
We could talk about my Raiders.
Khalil Mack.
They'll be back. They'll work it out. They already restructured Donald Penn's contract.
Okay, so
they'll work
Mack
it
will be
out.
back, and they're going to pay him quarterback money.
I sat
and
up and watched the Raiders and Lions in the preseason game, and I was impressed. I was. I thought their over and under is 8. I'll take the over. Maybe it's 9 and 7.
I think that's the division
but I'll
to
take
watch.
the over.
I think that West is a division to watch.
Well, the
That's gonna be
interest-
an
The Chargers
interesting-
are the team
I think
that
so,
most
too.
people think are the ones to beat.
Well, the interesting thing about that team, and I don't like to make more of this than it is, about your favorite team, is that all I hear is how much all the players love Gruden.
Yeah.
And there is something to be said for grown men that will run through a wall. Like in high school and college, it's a little different because they don't really have a choice. But in the pros, when they'll run through a wall for a guy, it's amazing what happens.
They
to him.
played with more enthusiasm in that game than
Well, he'll
I've
bring
seen
the
that team
enthusiasm,
play in
and they know
years.
he's smart. They know he knows the game.
Right.
They
He
know
wasn't doing nothing for the last 10
No.
years. He was.
They ran a counter off tackle early in the first drive. It got called back for holding that none of us saw the penalty, even a replay. And Marshawn Lynch went through the hole and beat a defensive back down the sidelines, pulled away from him.
Yeah.
I didn't think he had that much left in the tank.
He will draw out anything he can there, and I think the Raiders, they had some ability there that just kind of slipped away last year. Putting him in, that's a playoff
Well, the year
team.
before, if Carr doesn't get hurt, last year play. I mean, there are a lot of things.
A lot
that
of
play out
things
different.
played against
Well,
him.
that and they let go of their quarterback coach.
Right. Right.
That
But they
Carr
get out-
threw 30-some touchdowns with.
They come out of the gate strong this year. I would be afraid. They come out of the gate.
They got the Rams the first week.
Yeah.
We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk some more NFL and that on the other side. Front Row Roundtable is a show presented by Ralphie's. We'll be right back.
Matthews Ford Oregon is the dealership that makes a difference because we now offer guaranteed credit approval. We know what's on paper doesn't always reflect the person in front of us. That's why we work with over 40 lending institutions every day to help find solutions, and in some cases, we've been able to help folks looking at pre-owned vehicles drive away in a brand new one. Remember, we're here to help, not to judge. Ride on our reputation as the name that's been trusted since 1952.
That's the Matthews way.
Hey, Mortgage Marty here from Fairway Mortgage. New office is open at 5577 Monroe Street in the Promenade Shops. And those of you that watch know how competitive I am. So here's my challenge. The large national company you always see at every sporting event from up north who has that Rocket app that I hate. We have a competing app called the Fairway Now app. And the best part of the Fairway Now app is you get actually somebody local to help you after you use it. So log in, try it. It's on Facebook, on Twitter. You can find us, the Fairway Now app. Have a great night.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good. It's that good no matter what your taste. It's that good. Come early.
Wrestling is back in action in Toledo on Sunday, August the 26th at 5 p.m. at St. Clemens Hall, 2990 Tremainsville. PBW World Champion, the Bachelor Ben Boone, defends the belt against Unchained Brandon Day. You'll also see Righteous Indignation and the Circus of Pain battle for the tag team titles. Get your advanced discount tickets now at pbwexcitement.com. It's the best wrestlers in the Midwest, Sunday, August the 26th in Toledo at St. Clemens Hall. And welcome back for our Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's. We'll be pretty NFL heavy from here on out. Because
but this is the best 10 days
we
of
sit
the,
on
of
Saturday,
the year. This
you know.
is better than Christmas the next 10 days. High school opens Friday. College opens a week from today. The NFL is right at, I mean, it's
starting
Oh, it's just so good. I mean, nothing against talking baseball, but if we talk baseball more than a half a segment between now and Christmas, it won't bother me if we only talk baseball a half a segment between now and Christmas.
All right, so Marty won't be back next week. So
Right, I understand, but I mean, to me, this is Christmas. This is the
Right.
because, and the sad part is the baseball races are all but decided. I mean, you got what the
I like talking about it when there's something to talk about.
I'm not anti-baseball. I'm just saying, but to me, baseball it's like
No,
the
I'm
front runners are.
you're steering the car down a
Okay.
path that we're not going to go. But too much of that on sports talk is we have to talk NFL, even when there is nothing to talk about in NFL.
Well, yeah, don't create.
The headline the one day was Baker Mayfield's RV.
Yeah.
You know, come on.
All right, you're right on that.
That's all I'm
There you
saying.
go. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Now we're having some things that we can
I'm saying,
actually
but when we
talk
actually
about.
play games that matter, not spring practice or preseason, whatever. I mean, to me, there's nothing better than watching a game on Friday night with
People got to quit ripping on the preseason
with the young
too.
people. No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
It's awful.
No, it's not, because that's the only chance a coach gets to see the second and third stringers.
I agree with that.
It still
But-
doesn't make it. As in, from a fan experience.
Yeah, I don't like as a fan, I don't like it that much
And
because I don't.
Nobody said you had to necessarily like anything.
Right. The
point
that
is,
is
it
where
does
they
have
get
a
to see
purpose.
it. It does have a purpose. I completely agree with that. And this will go a different direction. But when you're selling tickets the same price as you're selling opening day, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Let's shorten
Well, it's
that
not a
up.
problem.
That's
You
the
just,
issue.
you just need to have a calculator that says I don't average it out over 8 games. I average it out over 12 games, and then divide
Whatever
by
it is.
8, and that's what
Well,
it really
10.
costs me.
That's it. Yeah. 'cause
Okay.
You get the
10.
Okay,
You get
wait,
two
sorry.
preseason at home.
But what I like about this time is everybody has that hope. We talked about the Brown. You have that hope right now. It's that excitement. It started in
You have playoff? Oh my lord! We're gonna have to get him an intervention
in
too.
high
I can
school.
see it.
You're all excited because the season's starting. You're 0-0. College, you're that way. Pro, you're that way until week 1, and then you start to realize what you have. But you can talk about it. You can talk about it. You can argue about things.
There are plenty of things that happen.
I don't know where to go with Shawshank with you. With hope is a good thing, maybe the best, or the old hope in one hand, defecate in the other, see which fills up first. That's kind of where I was wrestling about how to do that.
That sounds like a coach line.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, that's the cleaned up version, so I don't get kicked off. Because George Carlin said I can't say what the real line of that is.
Well, I mentioned that play in the Raiders game that got called back for holding, and you didn't have to be real good at reading lips to read what Gruden was saying on the sidelines, and I thought, oh yeah, he's back.
Can't take them long.
Oh, he probably set it up in the booth.
Good for the game.
Yeah.
Good for the game.
To me, it's great when you have personalities interjected who also get the best out of people. Because to me, the reason the NFL to me is so intriguing is it's played at such a high level and the speed is so insane that you can't get away with mistakes like you can at other levels.
Right.
Like quarterback play. I mean, quarterback play in the NFL is freakish to me. To watch where they thread the needle and what they don't do and where they don't throw the ball and how quick they make reads. And
See, I like the NFL better than I like college.
The talking about it or watching the game?
I
Or
like
just-
NFL better than I like college. I like the games played at their highest level.
See, I would agree with that. Except what I like is when you have an Ohio State, Michigan State game, and the first week in November in the rain, and it literally is a playoff game of sorts because whoever loses that game is out of, or an Alabama Georgia game or an Alabama. I mean, so week in and week
saying
out.
it's not good.
I like the atmosphere around the college game.
I can't separate.
When it comes to a Saturday or a Sunday, I like the Saturday atmosphere, everything that's involved in the game. To watch the X's and O's and how everything works, that's Sunday, if that makes sense.
I have a hard time separating the off the field college stuff from the on the field college stuff. So that's part of my issue.
See, I don't know, because I mean, the game day experience, like you're saying. I mean, go to any college situation, but I mean, even this year, Toledo this year. I mean, I know we don't agree on this, but hosting the Miami game is going to be a cool thing, and the atmosphere at the Glass.
Well, why would I not agree with that?
Well, because you're it'd be better to win a championship at a lower level guy, and I'm I think it's
a whole nother argument.
I know, but we've had that argument on this show.
Again, you're steering
I'm not steering it.
But on that Saturday, you're going to have an atmosphere that the Glass Bowl doesn't get when it's Toledo Bowling Green. It's going to be a ranked team.
It'd be nice to see the place full for once.
Yeah, which it should be more often because the MAC's good football.
Come on, when was the last time it was legitimately full?
It's been full 5 or 6 times in the last 3 years. Full.
Legitimately
full.
Against.
When Missouri was in town, it was full. The BG early homecoming game was definitely. I mean, I've been at several of these. It's close to full, a decent amount early in the year. The problem is when you get late in the year and the weather turns
and Thursday night games. We don't want to go there. That's a whole nother. But
it's not a knock against. I'm a UT grad. It's not a knock against anybody there, but it's just the way it is.
And all I would say to you is this. So our local fairway office is sponsoring the opening game, and I guarantee you the opening game will be electric, and then they have a bye week, and I guarantee you the Miami game will be electric. And the BG home game this year will be electric. There will be 3 absolutely unbelievable home games, and I wouldn't trade those for anything. And I say that as a alum and also as someone who enjoys the experience to this day.
Unfortunately, it's not that way across the back.
No, because you go to Kent State, no one's there.
I mean, there's a lot of things that work into this.
I've seen the tarps at Eastern. I understand.
Yeah, and that's the drawback. But when you look at the pro and the college, though.
But we're also compartmentalizing local college versus Ohio State or Michigan or whatever.
And we got to go. And even up, I'll take Miami. Barney, thank you.
I'm taking the under on the Browns at 5.5.
Right,
so there you go. We'll get the over on that.
All right, Powerbomb Wrestling coming up at 2 a.m. I love to stick it to him right before they can't retort on it. Powerbomb Wrestling coming up at 2 a.m. You can't stay up DVR, and if you can't do that, so you can catch us on YouTube, also on Fight.tv. But until next time, we'll see you on the Front Row Roundtable Show presented by Ralphie's.